we're gonna have enough now. And I brought along some grass too. Look. So I got some dry grass that we're gonna have to start the fire. And the fire will be on during the live coaching session. And while we're looking to the fire, I will coach you live. So, very exciting times. First time we do this, and I hope you will enjoy the session, and it will be life-changing. Oh. So then I think I should start preparing. Jag måste sätta upp håret, va? Some Swedish in between. I guess I put my hair up. That was the question. It's flying around. Let's try it. So. Soon it will be a lot warmer here. As soon as the fire starts, things will change. The way I will do this now is that I will first start off building a ground, like a base for the fire to burn from. And I have already prepared the ground by picking in and letting air come up from the ground. So to help the fire to burn easier and get air and help to become its best. So let's see, I put 5. We're gonna have 5 layers and 5 logs. Oh no, we take 6. It's gonna be a big fire. So we do 6, and we do also 2 on the end, like that. And I think we should do 2 on the other 2. This is the biggest fire I ever built. So, but you know, it's gonna be burning for a while, so we're better off making a good base. So I don't have to add any wood on as we go along. So look here now, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So then I will start to build the next level. This is fun. I love it. So I put them. That was a bit small. But that's okay. You know, no one is perfect, and this doesn't have to be perfect either. I just want to make a big fire that's gonna last the whole coaching session. So, and then we start this way. And for those of you that don't know, I love the outdoors, and I love sitting in front of the campfire, and I think it's one of the best things that you can actually spend your time doing if you want to listen to your inner feelings and feel that you're in the moment. Hey. As you can tell, I'm making a big fire here. But another thing that I like to mention is that this will be safe. And I think no matter how much the storm, you know, if there be a storm here or it's gonna rain lots or anything, whatever's gonna come towards the fire will still burn and stay in its place and be safe. Because we started it in a safe environment. And it's the same really with the human being. I believe that you are safe inside of you. So this is all about finding your inner strength and staying calm during turbulent times. So that's the whole idea of this coaching session. Okay. And now you might wonder, how am I going to start this fire? Yeah, I need to make a hole in the middle, and I'm going to put the grass, not my glove, but I'm going to put that. And then also it's good to have some things to help you. You know, you don't have to make things harder than it is. So you can have something also that helps the fire to light. And I have fire lighters that burn for 10 minutes. So I think it's because it's a bit windy today, and I think, you know, I will start with that. So you don't have to make everything the hardest way. You can compromise always. So let's see. Okay, so I'm quite happy now with this. My next step now is to find. There I got some matches. You can also use fire steel, like Swedish fire steel. But I thought, you know, we go with matches that most people have at home. And then I need to look here. Here's a fire lighter. This is on fire for 10 minutes. And most of you probably that have a wood fire, you use something to light your fire. You could just use newspaper or things like that. But I'm going to use this along with fresh from the forest, dry grass. So now I'm going to try to get in here in the middle. So I make a little space in the middle here. I put the grass in. And then I put a little fire like this. And then let's see if we can light the fire. Let's see if it will do it first time. It's live, anything can happen. I can see it's working. So you can start putting some small bits over the top if you like also. For it to have easier to start. Because now it's a very big fire. Like I said, I've never lit such a big fire before. So this is the first time for me too. And this global webinar is also the first time that I run this live with a fire. So who knows what's going to happen. We who take part will be the ones who decide what effect it will have. But I feel very confident that it will be powerful. So let's see if the fire is going to spread now. So enjoy the coaching session, and I will see you at the end, and we will be talking throughout, but I will be behind the camera then. So take this moment to just enjoy the fire and listen to your inner feelings and dare to follow your gut instinct. I clean up. So all the best of luck to you all. Be kind to yourself, one step at a time, tiny steps the right direction, and you will get where you want to go, where you're supposed to go. Dare to listen to your inner feelings. Now the storm has arrived. Well, it doesn't matter. We will still stay safe here. The fire will be there. Nothing will happen to the fire. So let's just enjoy the ride and stay calm during the storm. Hello, I'm back inside. A warm welcome to you all. Is it okay if I take my clothes off now that I'm in the studio? It's quite warm in here. So I'm just gonna take the jacket off. Okay, I hope you can all see me and hear me well. Please, if you can you just make a note or do you like a thumb up so I know that you all can hear me? So I will be looking at the screen a bit here, so I'm just going to look away for a minute to see. Oh, I'm getting here information that it was a beautiful view and it was very inspiring. And I'm coming out loud and clear, I can see. So that sounds great. So this is a good start. Can you hear the fire in the background? I just think it's amazing. And I'm just so happy to say that there are 5 countries participating at this global live coaching webinar. This is the launch. It's the first time that I do this. And you who are taking part are making history, really. So we will be around here for 1 hour and 20 minutes more. And during this time, I will be coaching one of you or 2, 3 of you live. And we have some of you that have already asked to be coached. And I will soon introduce them to you. But before we start, I just want to thank you all for daring to attend this launch. And I hope you really will enjoy the session. And as I said, when I was out there lighting the fire, be kind to yourself and dare to listen to your inner feelings and get inspired now by the person that I will coach. And if you have questions as we coach, please do write them down. And we will answer the questions after the session when I've coached. And I also have help from Mega Sound, who are in charge of all the technology here in the studio. So they might, if there's something coming up, then I might have to look into the studio here and ask Kalle, who's sitting here behind the glass, and also Roger, who is behind the camera. So we will all do this together, and I hope you will find it very informal and personal, and that you feel like this can be a life-changing session for all of you. So I'm just going to go and get my piece of paper and see which countries that we have with us today. So now that I look here at my piece of paper, we have Belgium, Germany, England, Sweden, and the Netherlands. So it's Europe that's here. Maybe that has to do with the hours too. So we see next time we're going to run the webinar, it will be at 4 p.m. So we see how that will make a difference to the global invitation. But thanks again for all of you taking part at this launch. And very briefly about me, my name is Pia Webb. And I'm a life and career coach and also a wilderness leader. I love the outdoors, and the past few years I've spent much more time outdoors than indoors coaching people. And I love to be outdoors, and I want to inspire you to also take more time being outdoors. And I hope this session, when you look into the fire, will help you to wanting to come outside. So with further ado, let's go into the coaching. And I'm looking here on the screen now. Artem, are you here? See if we can have your voice. So we have Artem here. He's from Germany. Hello, Artem. Am I pronouncing your name right?
Yes, it's correct. I'm here, but I'm with my daughter, so I'm not sure if it would be suitable.
That's fine. It's fine. We will not talk about anything that will not be okay for your daughter to hear. But I understand if there's things coming in that happens, it's live, anything can happen. And it makes it even more real. So we're happy to hear your daughter in the background. And I'm very, I must say that it's very proud that you are doing this for yourself. And your daughter is obviously there in the background helping you.
Yeah, totally, totally.
Yeah. So, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself? And then, when we start the coaching, I will go off the screen here, and we all will just listen to your voice and my voice while we look into the fire. And I will coach you to really find your inner peace. Yes,
Sorry.
it's okay. This is live, and I think all the other people listening in are totally fine that anything can happen. So we're gonna see what everyone is saying here about you being brave, the first one, brave one to come on being coached live. What do you other people think that are joining in? Let's see here if anyone dares to say anything. And also, if there's someone else out there, very brave indeed. That's from Mark. Mark Good he's from Belgium. So there we go. And we have you from Germany. So how do you pronounce your name? Did I pronounce it right? But can you still hear me there, Artem?
Sorry, yeah.
Sorry.
Artem is correct. Yes.
It's so correct. Okay, so I think if there's no questions, is there anyone that's participating now that have any questions about the technology or what we will be doing that want to ask that before we start? It looks like everyone is just waiting. You know, no one knows what's going to happen. And that's 100% true. This is live. But
Yeah,
the
let's see.
fire will stay in its place and it will stay safe, whatever gonna happen. Even if there's gonna be a storm during the coaching session, the fire will still stay there safe, as I said while I was lighting the fire. So it's the same with the people now that I'm coaching. We can all stay very calm during the storm and try to find our inner strength and also finding techniques to keep us in a safe place, whatever happens in these turbulent times that we're all going through all around the world at this moment in time. So, are you ready to be coached, Audrey?
Yeah, let's see.
Let's see. Cool. So I go off the screen now, and we just let everyone watch the fire, and we will start the coaching.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Cool. Welcome, everyone. Okay, Artem. So first of all, may I ask you what made you wanting to be coached? You know, why did you decide to take up this challenge?
Yeah, this is very interesting. So, as I reached out to you via LinkedIn recently, like I'm working on some stuff right now, and before everything started, I was thinking like what topics like we can dive into to coach, and frankly, I wasn't able to came up with anything meaningful, and probably part of the reason is because right now I have sort of purpose, and like this really drives me. And the reason I decided to join is I was just very curious, like how this works, what's going to happen. So really, I'm not quite sure, um, like if I have any questions, but I don't know. Maybe if you can ask any questions, and we can try to start from there. Would that work that way?
Definitely. Can everyone hear me okay still? I'm actually sitting down now on the settee here near the fire. I hope you're all very comfortable sitting somewhere, maybe with a cup of tea or whatever you like to drink, and feel that you are going to enjoy this journey now, because now we will start the coaching session with Artem and the coaching rules, just to let you all know that as a coach, you always ask open questions. You never steer a client or give them ideas on ways to move forward. So that's the way this coaching session will be run. That I will be asking open questions and try to help Artem to find his own way, to find his inner peace in whatever he wants to do in life. So I will start off, Artem, with asking you, now they have your daughter there also. How old is your daughter, by the way?
Sorry?
How old is your daughter?
And she's 1.5 year old.
Okay, great. Okay, so we carry on, and I will be coaching you for an hour. Okay, if that's what you want, unless there's someone else that wants to be coached. I know there are some other people that showed an interest, but they've said that they could let you have the 1.5 hour. Unless there's someone else now. Can I ask? Happy to be coached by Pia Webb if she wants, and that's Mark. So we also have another one. So we start off, Artem, but you first. So we will coach you until you feel like you're happy. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. So let's start, and I would like to ask you, what at this moment in time, what feels like your main challenge in life?
Main challenge. It might be like reaching out to people, maybe.
Okay. So you mean reaching out to people more for your business or in your
Um,
personal life?
I wouldn't say that like it's from business perspective, but it's more like from the perspective, yeah, from work perspective, let's say, yeah.
Mm. So, do you, in what way is it an issue for you?
Well, I guess just sometimes I just don't like to talk to people while I feel that it's needed to like it's required, like I have to do this, but and like it changes over time and all the time, I would say. So there are different periods in time where sometimes I enjoy it, sometimes I don't really like it. And like my background is software development, so I'm a software developer, and all that I love doing is like sitting in front of my computer with like on my own, you know. So that this is what is natural to me. But when it comes to like creating something meaningful, it's all about conversations. It's all about talking to people, and especially at the beginning, it was like a great challenge for me. So I guess it's still somehow of a challenge, just to talk to people, probably.
Okay, so it's a way. If I can just recap what you said, that you're a software developer and that you find it hard to reach out to people, and that you don't really enjoy doing that.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
So have you considered ways of working around this, or have you got some sort of ideas on what you would like to do to make a
Um,
change?
well, so far I came up with only one solution: is just to keep doing this, and so far it's working. I wouldn't say that it's maybe it's the best approach because it really takes a lot of time. But maybe this is how it should be. So yeah, so far this is the only thing that I'm doing, at least. So just pushing through this.
Mm. So you're saying that this might not be the best way, but you've decided that this is the way you will be doing it. What way do you think would be the best way if anything was possible and you didn't have any, any worries at all? What do you think would be the absolute best way for you to reach out to people?
Yeah, that's a good question. Like, because I don't really know. It's not that I decided that out of like myriads of different ways of approaching it, I would do this. This is because I only see that this is the only option, just to keep doing this. So that's probably an issue here.
Mm.
If that makes.
Mm. Okay, this is, at least you're aware of the issue, and you are working on it, and you have a way that you keep doing it the way you're doing it now. Like now, you're also, very showing yourself very very vulnerable by sharing your inner feelings with people from 5 different countries that you have no idea who they are, and that's for a start. Shows that you're very brave and someone that I feel that you could trust more than others, that you are showing your vulnerability. So
Sorry, maybe I just don't realize what's going on.
no, exactly. Well, sometimes it's best not to, maybe. But you know what? To go to you now, you know that you want to keep on doing with this reaching out thing, and you got your idea. But is this the main issue if you really look into yourself? If you ask yourself, this, what makes you happy and safe within yourself, to find this inner peace, that where you are happy with who you are at this moment in time, what would you say would be the main issue that you have to deal with?
Well, that's a tough question. I guess also like part of the problem, or maybe it's not a problem, but the opposite, is that I found that helping people and doing something useful for them is what drives me. So it sort of contradicts with this like inability or like fear of talking to people, because like on one hand, helping is really what drives me. On the other hand, talking to people is something that I don't really love, don't really like. But getting back to your question, I would say that those sort of questions very like always were very tough for me. Like just to really. It always takes time to just to formulate the answer. I don't really know at this point.
This is like life ask, questions that people reflect on their whole life and maybe never find the answer to. So, I don't expect you to answer this question. It's just sometimes very powerful to ask hard, down to earth questions that touch your soul. And they help you to start to reflect and listen to your inner feelings. And they can be life changing if you take steps and listening to your gut. And I don't mean here now that you have to share your inner feelings with all these people that are listening, but they might help you to start to put them onto the surface. So when we leave the webinar, then you might start to make more conscious decisions by listening to your inner feelings and act on them. Would you agree?
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah, and also I just like to tell you that no one knows who you are. They know that you are from Germany and that your name is Artem. So that's all that people know about you. Yes, so you know, and we don't share any people's names here. Yes, the first name or the people that I coach. Yes, so you know that.
Yeah, that's not a problem at all.
Yeah, good. So if we look at a first step that you would be motivated to take today or tomorrow the latest, in order to strengthen your inner self. Just a small step. It could be very small, or of course it could be a big change that you make in your life, but one step that you feel that you are motivated to take to help yourself feel better.
So the step that I would take today, tomorrow?
Yeah, today or tomorrow the latest. That's how the coaching that I run works. That everything that we decide to act on will be acted on today or tomorrow the latest. So if there's something, say for example that you say you want to lose 10 kilos, then that wouldn't be a goal that we would have here. It would be what you would be willing to do today or tomorrow the latest to improve your health. So it would be a very small step. And I obviously I have a holistic tool that we work on, which is the backbone of the book, improve your own quality of life the Swedish way, where you look at your life on a holistic level and you focus on different areas and then you act on where you have the most weaknesses or where you have the most issues, and you find through this technique what you want to deal with today or tomorrow the latest. So that you would have to spend a little time filling all the information in prior to that. But as today we just go straight on without any techniques rather than my expertise and your vulnerability, and which also works. So if I reword the question again, if you were to take a step today or tomorrow the latest to do something that would improve your current situation, that would make you feel a little bit better about your current life, what would that be, that step?
Yeah, I think it would be like just the same thing that I started literally today, is to send 5 messages to coaches on LinkedIn. And this is literally what I did today. And this is how like we met at first. So this is what I will do tomorrow too.
Great. So how will you remember that you will do this?
How do I remember that I need to do this?
Yes.
Well, I would say that like I have sort of, sorry, one moment.
Papa. Oh, lovely.
She wants to eat. So, so I have like a block of time for every day to focus on something that will move me like one step forward in whatever way it might be. And so I would say that this is already sort of habit. It's at some point, but on the other hand, like I have no other choice rather than keep doing this because I need to move forward.
Yeah.
So that's how it works,
But,
I guess.
But then if I ask you another question is, how motivated are you to do this tomorrow now?
Sorry?
How motivated are you on a scale 1 to 10 to continue to send these messages tomorrow?
It's this also like an interesting question, because while I don't really like doing this, I'm confident 100% that I will do this.
Yeah. Okay. So you feel like when you say that you are confident 100% you will do it, is it that you believe that this is a way forward towards success?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
this is the only.
Yeah, because it sounds like you are positive, and it's like being an eagle, you know, or like if you keep stuck at something, then finally you will succeed. That's the sort of message that I feel that you're trying to address here. That you feel like if you continue to send 5 messages a day, then you will
Yeah.
succeed. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I see, Hannah, there are a few people that want to be coached. I want to ask you, I think we're going to have Mark on next after a bit here. I'm going to ask, Mark, can you let me know if in how long?
So,
I just have to ask.
sorry, Pia. I think she wants to go to sleep.
Yeah, okay. But you know what I want to say, Artem, to you? It's been great to have you on. Thanks for being brave, and I'm sure you have inspired the people listening. I'm going to see if I get any notes here from someone saying that you've been brave. Please, can some people give some feedback? Thank you, Artem, for being so pen and vulnerable. You have been so vulnerable and open. Well, how lovely to hear. How does that feel?
Yeah, thank you very much. It was really great, and I just started to get into this mood in talking, and I would really love to just keep doing this because yeah, it was really great like exercise.
Well,
And
great.
yeah, again, I would really love just to keep doing this till the end. but apparently I just have to take care of the
Yeah,
daughter. So,
I understand. I think it's so cool that you actually put yourself first, and you did take time to do this, even though you had a 1.5 year old daughter there. That is very cool of you. I think you should be so proud of yourself. Most people would not have taken time to sign on to this webinar today. So you should go to bed tonight feeling that you have done such a great thing for you. And you are a role model that you put yourself first. And that's the way we should live. The mask on ourselves before we help others, like on the plane. So you've been a great inspiration, Artem, and I wish you all the best. And I will also, as you said, send you the coaching model, Webb's quality of life model, so you can coach yourself every day and make conscious decisions and see which steps you would like to take every day to improve your own quality of life. So thank you so much for taking part, and good night, putting your daughter to sleep now.
yeah, thank you very much, Pia, for having me here. I really, really appreciate it. It was really great to meet you and just to be here with you. Thanks a lot.
Oh, thank you. Bye for now. We'll see you
Bye
soon
bye.
again, probably one way or another. Bye,
Yeah,
Artem
totally, totally.
from Germany. That was Artem from Germany, being very brave. And we're going to see here now if we have some more brave people. We have Mark. I'm going to check with Kalle in the studio. Can we unmute Mark? And we will get Mark on. So let me see, is Mark.
Hey there.
Hello, Mark. Welcome to
Hello.
the global webinar. And
Thank you, Pia.
you're from Belgium now.
That's right. In fact, I'm Dutch. I'm from the Netherlands, but I'm living in Belgium. I've been away from the Netherlands already for 20 years now.
Okay. Well, it's great. Mark and I, we're actually never met. We've never met, but we did a live coaching maybe 7 years ago, a webinar many years ago. So we have a contact, but we never met, Mark. So
Yeah,
it's
exactly. And we're still planning to have a meeting in person, but it feels like we've known each other for a very long time. And there is a level of trust among us without
oh,
even having met in person, which is quite special.
it's very special. And for you that listening, we've actually said that one day we're going to meet in real life in front around the fire. So that will happen. Maybe I will go on a tour and do this all around the world with a fire.
I want to go in the sauna with you.
Oh, yeah. For those of you that don't know, I love the sauna. So I spend like 3-4 hours in the sauna. So that's another thing. Maybe I will do a coaching nearly that way. But we see what happens. But now it's your turn, Mark. So let me ask you what part you would like to be coached on. Is there a specific issue or a problem that you feel like you like to share and be coached on here with the during the launch of the global webinar?
Yeah, thanks, Pia. I think there is a particular issue that kind of has been chasing me for most of my life, which is I'm quite a perfectionist, and I love to study things and understand things. I love to write a lot, but and I'm running a business. I'm a business owner. I'm running a business, but I'm also have a coaching business. And what I find very challenging is to actually finish up my work and publish my content. So I tend to try to refine it and make it even better, and continuously kind of postpone or procrastinate on actually starting to not only study and research but also share my content with the world, even though it's not perfect, for them to interact with it and decide what do they like it, or so it's maybe courage of exposing myself, or criticism, or maybe I'm asking myself, is it good enough, or are people waiting for my content, because there's so much out there already in the coaching world. And so I tend to keep procrastinating on actually sharing my ideas with the world.
Mm. Well, thank you so much for being so open and sharing your issues. No one is perfect. We all have our issues, and perfectionists, I think many people are. Me personally, I've been one, but I'm not one anymore, so I can feel for you there. And I think here now is that you feel like, do you want to let your material out and show it? And if we play with the word that everything is possible, there are no limitations here. If you could choose, who would you like to show this information to if everything was possible? Like anyone in the world or any organization, who would it be?
Interesting question. In fact, that's to be honest, that's been one of my bigger challenges, to decide what is my target ideal customer or target market. And I think I've been in between. I've been 20 years in the corporate world in different roles and jobs in big corporations all around the world. And so one logical group for me to kind of share my content with would be kind of senior managers and executives in large organizations, because I've been one of those, and I know the challenges and the stress that these people go through. And I think there's a better way where you can actually, be yourself more, and find more balance in your life, more, so that you have time for your family and friends, and that you don't have to always say yes to everything. And so be more true to yourself, and at the same time be very successful. So that could be a logical group. At the same time, there's entrepreneurs, and which I'm now myself, and there's self-employed people like lawyers, medical doctors, consultants, and these are three groups that I resonate with quite well. And for me, in a way, I think I can be of service to all of those people. At the same time, I feel like that's very broad.
Yes.
And difficult to reach all of them.
Mm. So when you say it's very broad, it's a bit like, you're out sailing and you're gonna go somewhere. You really need to focus on where you want to go. And if you were actually digging deep into who you would like to have as your customer or person to, whoever you want to work with, you could ask yourself many questions. Like, for example, which branch would you be interested in sharing your valuable information with? And also, why would you like to share it with that group, with that specific branch? And how that does that resonate with you? Would you sleep well at night, if you know what I mean? Would it be a branch that you feel is doing something good to the world? Because whatever is doing good to the world will also help you with your inner peace. So that you do something good for you will do good for others. Like you are talking here, that you want to do better for yourself. So if I do a question on this now is, which branch or in what area do you want to see your content flourish?
Yeah, well, that's a very interesting question, Pia, to look at it that way, and also your addition about sleeping at night peacefully, and it's interesting because if I look at myself in terms of what I want to achieve or accomplish in the world, so I have very much a belief that in a way we are born to live great lives, big lives, full of joy and meaning and development. I think so I like to help people that would have an aspiration to live a bigger, better, more meaningful life. And I meet a lot of people who are maybe successful in one area of their life, but at the price or the cost of or high price in another area. For instance, they're very successful in their company or in their, but maybe the health is suffering, or the private relationships, or they have no time to go to see, their kids' music performance or sports games and stuff like that. And I think that's too high a price to pay. So I think it's people who have that desire to, not only build a great life for themselves, but also want to have some sort of positive contribution in the world. And so they have to have some sort of engagement and passion for making a contribution. So I think that's an important distinction between who I would like to serve and who not. And I think the other element could be something like people who have already shown some form of success, because that means to me that they can achieve something, because it's somebody that has, in their own view, has not really shown a lot of energy in making things happen, without judgment, by the way, are people that may not be that interested in growth and development and impact. And so I think for me, it's also being at peace with the fact that I cannot and don't have to try to help the whole world. It's just reaching out to people, sharing my view about what life they could what impact they could have if they were growing as persons. And then they can confirm whether they're interested in me helping them, rather than me pushing them to accept my help, something like that.
Good. So if I ask you a follow-up question to that, then can you now visualize an organization or a company that would live up to your expectations here, that what you're looking for?
Well, yeah, I think it's the way I have looked at it so far was more looking at individuals, because I think that, of course, it would be great if I could find organizations. I mean, I like that question, that are in that category. But what I find and what I found when I worked in the corporate world is that among the whole large, and I was in organizations with 20, 30, up to 100,000 people. And there was a huge difference. I mean, there was kind of, if you had to split it in two groups, it doesn't matter which level they were in the organization, you had kind of a group of people that I felt had a sense of, openness, vulnerability, aspiration, maybe not so much ego, but just curiosity and a desire to grow. And there was another group of people who were just arrogant pricks and bastards, just to make the contrast. And these were often the people that I sometimes felt a little bit kind of perhaps too much, impressed by, or kind of. But in the end, because these are typically the people with the big mouth and and the big egos, are the ones initially who make a lot of progress in an organization. But in the end, I believe that the ones who are able to be vulnerable, who foster teamwork, who want everybody to be successful rather than only themselves, who only think about the bigger picture and the impact they have on the world, and not only the bottom line or the shareholders, those are the people who often don't have a voice in a big organization. And if they're smart, if they're hardworking, I think if I would be able to equip these people with capabilities to speak up for themselves, to also be more assertive, then I think they can reach to the top and really change these organizations and have so I think that will be interesting for me. So more individuals, I think, within organizations rather than whole organizations.
Oh wow, Mark! I just have to see now what the people joining in here think about your honesty. What do you reckon, people that are listening in, about Mark's way of, really being honest, how he looks at an organization is run today? He really speaks from the heart, and he tells, in my view, the way it is. The best way to run a company is obviously by empowering people and your big team together. And it's going to see if there's someone here that want to add something, a note to the way you've been coached so far. You have someone from England, maybe? Philip, would you like to say something? I don't know if you want to comment. Does he want to comment, Philip? See if he wants to. I just say something that comes up. No, but you know what? It's the way. Can you hear me? Okay, we're gonna see if it will work.
Hi, Pia.
Now we got Philip there. Do you want to just say something, Philip from England, to Mark?
I thought that was great. I think I really relate to procrastination and perfectionism in a way, and wanting to get things right. I think it's so I think he should unleash himself on the world and just dive in. And I think that rather like the water by the campfire, don't worry about how cold it is. It'll get warm if you just jump in. And but I thought that was really that I could really relate to all of that.
Mm. Oh, thank you so much, Philip, for sharing. What did you think about that, Mark?
Well, Philip, thank you so much. Thank you so much for for making that contribution. It's always it's very scary, and the thing is, I just became after 15 years of procrastination, I signed up for a coaching program run by Dan Sullivan. It's called Strategic Coach, and he's been around for 40 years, and he's focusing on coaching entrepreneurs. And it's so we had our first meeting in London in end of February, and there were people from 15 different nationalities. It was a group of 30 people, and for the first time, I don't want to kind of over dramatize, but let's say many of my friends are in corporations. They have different levels of jobs. I mean, there are lower levels and there are CEOs, but they're all in corporate life, and there's nothing wrong with that. But they think differently from entrepreneurs. And now I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm with that group of like-minded entrepreneurs, and it seems that you get permission for being yourself. And so they got some of these concepts and tests, and suddenly you start to discover. I mean, I'm 55 years old, but I love to continue to learn and explore. And I think what you just said about just, go out there, expose yourself or jump in the water. I think that's the key. That's what you say. That's what Pia is saying, because it's as if you I always like. I don't know whether you know the Indiana Jones movies, but there's one where I think he's very close to the Holy Grail, and he just has to cross a huge gap, and he knows that he needs to make the first step. And if he does it, rationally, it's crazy because he will fall down and die. But as soon as he makes that step, a bridge starts to kind of materialize under his foot. And I like that image very much, that you will never get certainty or you can never get 100% certainty that whatever you do is going to be successful or people like it. But if you don't make that step, then you will never know. And then it's probably better, to regret what you tried than to regret what you didn't try.
Well, there's a lovely quote that's supposed to be by Goethe, the philosopher, but actually it's not by him. But it's and I won't waste time trying to find it now. But it's in effect, he says, just doing something, deciding to do something, is itself a very creative act, and it leads to a whole series of other things that you never thought would flow. So from what you've just said, absolutely, that that you might jump towards something, but you'll quickly be able to adjust. A bit like sailing, you might adjust your sails. It's not quite right for the wind. Don't worry, you've discovered that, so you can just adjust them again.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I know that if I look back at events in my life, let's say forks in the road or deciding moments, that it's probably better to just take a step or make a decision rather than no decision. And you can always course correct. And I feel most proud about the moments that I took a leap or and as you say, you will discover. It's like Jack Canfield. I think he's saying, and if you want to go somewhere, you don't need to have the whole map. You just, as if you're driving your car, you see, your headlights will show you maybe 50, 100 meters, and that's sufficient to find your way. And you don't need the whole view towards the end point, something like that.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it's
So
great.
thanks for that.
I must say, it's just so great to hear you interacting. This is the launch of the global webinar, and it gives me so many ideas on how we can have different sort of groups. We can get people wanting to talk about business, wanting to talk about coaching. We could invite just coaches talking around the campfire. We could get people talking just about people that are having hard with the economy, people that are worried about certain issues. So there could be lots of different themes for this sort of way of communicating. I just have to just say that in the middle of the coaching.
Yeah. Well, what I like, Pia, about it is that I think what's been unexpected is that you would allow participants to interact, and that adds, I think, an extra layer of value, or an extra dimension of value to the whole process.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Great. Well, it's all, it's you that makes this session. So I'm just so happy for your interaction, and that you feel that you want to be part of this, because we're all in this together. We're all one. The whole world. We humans, and we all have issues. No one is perfect. And I thought that we could try something now, all of us together that are listening, that we all do what I've called the Web Minute. If that's all right by everyone. And the way that works is that we all just close our eyes for 1 minute, and we just listen to our inner feelings and breathe normally. And I will let you know when this minute has passed. And then if there's anyone that wants to share what's come up, then they will just raise their hand, and we will let that person share their thoughts. And I think this is very powerful, to just give yourself 1 minute to listen to your inner feelings and feel that everything is possible and no one is perfect. And whatever thoughts and feelings that comes to you, it's up to you if you're motivated to act on them. So should we try this? Now I got Mark and Philip on.
Sure.
We can hear you.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Do you want to try it, Philip? Yeah, he's
So we're
just 1 minute.
we're all going to be
Silent.
Yeah, sure.
We're just going to be
Sure,
silent for
sure.
1 minute, and I will
Sure.
time the minute. And when the minute's up, if there's anyone that wants to share their thoughts of their inner feelings, and if there's something that came up that they want to act on, then they're more than happy to share that for us. That would be great. But there's no need, no one has to share anything. But let's try this now. So everyone, for this launch of the global live coaching webinar, we're going to try the Web Minute, and we're all going to close our eyes now and breathe normally. Sit like 90 degrees with your hands on your lap, and we start the minute now. That's 1 minute. So now 1 minute has gone, so you can open your eyes. Just take a deep breath. And now, whatever's come up, what thoughts have come in your head, If you like to share it, then please do.
So it's Philip here, and I think this is a wonderful and unique experience you're giving us, Pia. And that's what I was thinking about, because while we've been in this period of lockdown, which during this pandemic, everybody's been sort of cooped up in their houses. I mean, they can get out for exercise, but lots of people have been on Zoom webinars and lots of Zoom events. And the thing is, you've done something unique. You've actually taken us out to the wilderness. And I'm looking at the fire and I was thinking, I just wish I could be around that fire, sitting on one of those logs, having a barbecue. It's the longest period of time I've ever had not being next to the sea and walking on a beach, and I find that difficult. But I was thinking, you've actually taken us out of our normal environments, and given us something inspiring and hopeful to look at. And I was thinking how wonderful that was, and what it would be like if you could actually loop up a series of people in places like that, to connect people around the world. That's what I was thinking.
Wow, very powerful. Thanks for sharing that, Philip. I mean, that was the whole idea of while I came up with this idea, because I just feel myself, when you are in front of the fire in real life, you are really one with the moment. You are in the moment, and there are no fears, nothing. You are just there with your soul, looking into the fire. Nothing disturbs you, no one can hurt you, if you like. And it's such a powerful thing to experience. And I thought, if I could bring people closer to this by doing it online, you could be home in your house, in your comfortable settee. I thought that would be like building a bridge towards helping the person, maybe getting inspired to tomorrow maybe go out in the forest, or just go and walk on grass or something, to spend more time in the outdoors, where I believe that you really go back to your roots. I mean, that's where we've all come from. So there's nothing weird about it. It's just that we have gone so far away from it in this crazy world that we are living. So I think this web minute also is very powerful, and that we've done this now, that we've done the launch. There are many people listening from 5 different countries to this, and we are all, role models for daring to look after ourselves, really, and be vulnerable. I mean, it takes quite a lot for someone to sign on to a webinar like this, because it is very, it's you. Find your inner peace. I don't want to tell anyone I need to find my inner peace. I'm perfect. A lot of people might say. But we all know that no one is perfect. And the people that are the most perfect, if you like, are the people signing on to this webinar, in my view. Because you dare to go there and show that I want to feel better about myself, and I feel like I dare to try it. And that's, I think, is with also what Mark said when he was talking about this, trying to reach out, and also what Artem said. If you go out of your comfort zone, that's when you develop. And I think all of you that signed on to this have gone outside your comfort zone, even if you don't feel you have. I think you all have. I mean, I feel like I haven't gone out of my comfort zone, because I am a bit wild and crazy and I do what I want. But I know that I have gone outside my comfort zone, because I'm trying something completely different. I have no idea who's going to come, who's going to want to be coached. Everything's just happened now live. And I think that's how we all grow the best way, by daring to step out onto the unknown. Yeah. So that was just like a little short cut off from the coaching, Mark. And I think, great that Philip, that you interacted with Mark here in the coaching. And let's go and listen to what Mark has to say now.
Yeah, you know, what somebody said to me once when I was coaching them, they said, well, Mark, with all your wisdom and great ideas, some of the most powerful transformation happened when you remained silent. And I think it's a bit analogous to what Philip is suggesting. For me, this idea about the campfire, I knew you were planning to do this, and I wasn't sure. I hadn't kind of ever experienced this kind of process in this way. And for me, it's indeed it's profound that indeed to show this campfire here full screen that you can look at while at the same time reflecting, going inside, discussing, sharing, listening to others that you have never met before. That is absolutely profound. It's a very I'm having goosebumps
Oh,
about the impact of this process. And as you said, Philip, and you said as well, Pia. I mean, first of all, Pia, my deep appreciation and respect for indeed your courage for putting this together and getting out there and being taking the risk. But I think it's really, and it doesn't matter how many people there are. The first you just did it, and we're starting something. Like a campfire can start something. You have started something with this event, and for me, it has already been very profound. So, thank you so much.
oh, thank you, Mark, for sharing. And if we want to finish off with the coaching, Mark, and ask what you are motivated to do today or tomorrow, the latest, to improve your own quality of life, specifically then to find your inner peace at these turbulent times we're in. What would be your step today or tomorrow, the latest, that you're motivated to take?
Right. Yeah. So, in a way, I have a lot of, let's say, okay. So I have a lot of inner peace in a way. On the other hand, I have this kind of itch or this nagging voice that says, "Put your stuff out there. You know, do what Pia is doing. Just throw it out there. What Philip is recommending." And a lot of people have already said to me, Mark, you know, come on, share it with more people. So my commitment, Pia, and I have started that process, but you know, you haven't really done it yet. I'm still finishing up the final few things, but I think, you know, but my commitment is to you, and you can hold me to that. You can hold me accountable for that. Is that I will be starting to share my content on LinkedIn, on other platforms, on my website, and I will just give it to the world and let it go, be detached, and let the world interact with it, and my content will find its audience one way or the other. Because I've heard a saying that says, if you have a calling, that means somebody is calling you. So even if it's one person, it doesn't really matter. If there's one person whose life I can change a little bit for the better, I think it's been worth all my effort. So that's my commitment, Pia, after your coaching.
Oh, great. That is great. So I'm looking forward to seeing this information that you're going to share now. And I'm just going to ask you a final question. If you could choose anyone in the world that you want to share this information with, that you think that could I share it with this person, then, and that person would accept my information, or would take it on board, it would be life changing. Have you got a person or an organization that you would like to buy into your thing? If you could choose, who would be your ideal customer or person to share this with?
That's a tricky question, because in fact your question has two components. One is if there will be one person or one organization that you would be wanting to change their lives, who would it be? And then you asked who would be your ideal customer. And I think that the tricky part of this one is that there are a few people in my life, not many, but there's a few people that I have met that somehow still have some place in my mind, that occupy some space in my mind, in a way, in a negative way, because I want to either get them to either acknowledge me or like me, or I don't know what it is, but or I'm looking up to them and I want them to say, hey, Mark, wow, that's fantastic, you changed my life. At the same time, I think there is an opportunity to just let go and say, let them be happy. The world is big enough. And so I need to forgive them for not knowing what kind of impact they've had on me in terms of self-confidence. You see what I mean?
Yes.
So I'm not sure. So the paradox here is that on one hand, there is something in me that says I want to, in a way, convince people, some of kind of these type of people, and there's only a few, that almost kind of that I was right, or that there is some value in what I have to say or in the way I say it, which is totally different from their style. And at the same time, I feel like I should just let go of them, keeping me hostage, and cater to the needs of and desires of so many other people that have acknowledged me and my content and my style in so many ways, so many times.
Okay, well, that's great. So now we looked at your professional side of your life. Do you feel like there's something in your private life that needs to be adjusted? Like an issue that you should deal with in order to become, find that inner peace within yourself?
I think in the private on the private side is again, it's not looking for permission from anyone to share my content or my views or my ideas, and just feel whether it's courage or certainty or permission in myself to do it.
So do you repeat permission? Am I correct to say that you feel like you need permission from people in your private life to act or not to act?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever reflected on what that comes from?
Of course I have. Of course.
Is there something you want to share?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's basically it goes back to, I think, my upbringing, where I think my mother, she was in a way I got along very well with her, and she was always very complimentary about me. And I mean, I was always a guy who, I had the best grades, I was good in sports, people liked me, and so she was always telling her friends how proud she was, and that I was doing so great. But with that, she was somehow, I think, putting a high expectation on me, not to let her down, not to fail, not kind of to live up to her expectation, her standard. So, and she was very judgmental, probably a little bit unconsciously so, and maybe out of her proud of my accomplishments, and but it was never good enough. It was always like, yeah, but So it feels, and I was reflecting on it earlier today, that if she had certain opinions about things, she would be continuing to repeat those until, and the best way to get away from that kind of unsolicited feedback was to just say, yes, you're right, And with that, I think I've lost my trust in my own judgment. And it's not that I don't make decisions, but I think the allowing myself, so that's the word permission comes in, to trust my gut. And not because I'm a very, very much rational person, at the same time, my gut feeling gives me, in fact, the answers long before I've come to similar kind of conclusions in a more rational way. So it's trusting my gut, and just also, sorry, Pia, for the long answer.
No problem.
Doing one of a coach education that I did with ICF, the master certified coach, after 2 years, gave me a parting wish, And she said to me, look, Mark, just relax and enjoy life. And I couldn't make sense of that. That was in 2014. And I like, is it that easy, to live a great and peaceful life, to just relax and enjoy life? I think, no, you have to be striving, you have to achieve results, you have to, be successful before you can actually give yourself the reward of enjoyment. And now I'm at a point where these two elements come together. One is giving myself permission to go out there and be myself, be free, the freedom to be me. And secondly, to just enjoy life for the sake of enjoyment rather than as a reward for having worked extremely hard and performed and been successful. You see, that's I think where I am at the moment. Just expressing myself without worrying about what other people say, and allowing myself the freedom to enjoy life for the sake of enjoyment. That's I think that's it.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your personal, private life. It's very inspirational, and I'm sure you've inspired many people here on the global webinar here now. And what I feel is that you're right in what you say. You feel like it's right for you. You're just going to enjoy life and everything. But then we come to the question, how are you going to do this, and how are you going to make it happen? And like with the coaching that I do, it's what you do it today or you do it tomorrow, a step. So I wonder, what will you do today or tomorrow, the latest, Mark, that would actually help you to achieve what you want, the way you want to feel, that you just
Right.
told us?
Yeah, I think an important. Well, again, I've been having weeks that are crazy. I mean, on one hand, our business is down to zero revenue. We are the fitness industry. So that's my other business, and so it has been crazy busy. And again tomorrow. But I think one thing that I know, that if I give that to myself, really makes the day, and that is to allow myself the freedom and opportunity to actually take a walk in the morning for about an hour and a half in the forest. I mean, we have a forest here at 5-minute walk. It's beautiful, near Brussels, and just to allocate time. And then I often have, when I do that, I know it's going to be a great day no matter what. At the same time, sometimes I feel a little bit guilty that I'm, not attending to my to-do list, but allowing myself to walk. So I think one action step, Pia, to kind of follow up or follow through on this commitment or this vision would be to actually indeed block, or let's say allocate time in my agenda, in my diary tomorrow, to go for a beautiful walk in the forest, and do that repeatedly, and build it into my life, knowing that when I do it, it's actually gonna make for a great day.
Yeah, so how do you
And
normally feel after you've been for a walk?
Well, of course, I feel great, fantastic. But so that's not the problem. And the thing is, if I do it, and even if I, and I like to read a little bit and listen to podcasts and journal, so I could easily then, it could be like 11 o'clock, but generally I get more done in the rest of the day than when I had started at 8 o'clock in the morning and kind of worked my way through the day nonstop. So yeah, I mean, I know it feels great, but somehow if I don't prioritize that activity early in the morning, then I know that when the day kind of comes to a close, just before dinner, it has too many other activities, family-wise, that make it difficult to then go out and still go for this walk. So I have to do it in the morning, or otherwise it doesn't happen.
No. So what will you do? What will be the action then that you feel motivated to do?
Right. Yeah. So now tomorrow morning I have kind of another business group that's BNI, that has a weekly meeting at 7 in the morning. It's a Zoom call, and so what I can do here, if I look at my agenda, I could do a 10 to 11 break, and the rest of the day is blocked. So I will put now in my agenda, in my phone,
Yes.
a commitment that between 10 and 11, I will go for a walk, go for my forest walk. I will put it in right now. For tomorrow at 10, between 10 and 11.
And how motivated are you now on a scale 1 to 10 to take this walk tomorrow?
I'm not very motivated.
Okay, but you know what I normally say then? Get rid of it. Or I have to coach you to be motivated. Because
the thing is, I'm so I will do it because I know that first of all, why I'm not so motivated. First of all, it's only an hour instead of an hour and a half, so I know I need to rush. And secondly, so it's going to be a half thing. And secondly, I have such a busy schedule with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 meetings, so it's about 7 hours.
Yeah.
Then I feel like, well, I have to kind of fork this one in. So maybe it's better to put it on Saturday, but I don't know whether that fits in your coaching model.
No, in the coaching model, you need to act today or tomorrow on something that you are motivated. But then I ask you, what's the reason that you have to walk for an hour? What is the reason for that?
That's a good question. Well, the thing is, I like if I have to walk I can either take a car and park it so that the car is 5-minute ride. I park it and then I can be in the forest for about an hour.
Okay.
If I walk from my house, it's going to be 15 minutes before I get there.
Okay. So well, let's turn it around the question. How long can you be away from work and still feel like you're not in a rush when you come back? How many minutes is it?
Well, about let's say about 45 minutes.
Yeah. So you have 45 minutes. So you have then what will be the best way for you to experience the positive things on this exercise? How would it work for you, the best way? 45 minutes, that's your goal. That's what you have. How will you do this? Will you walk or will you take the car? And what time will you be back? Just tell me, how you will make this happen so it becomes a positive experience rather than a stressful one.
Yeah. Okay. So what I will do, in fact, I will. It's a good point. What I will do tomorrow morning so I have a call from 9 to 10. I will make sure it's done by 10 latest. And I will then prepare, I will jump in the car, drive to the forest, go there for about, a half hour or maybe 40 minutes and then drive back and I'll be back by 11. So that works. And I know that I will be refreshed and I will be extremely happy that I did it.
Great. And then I just want you to write all the positive things down, how you will feel when you get home. So when you feel tomorrow morning that you rather stay in bed or start working, looking at your computer and your emails, then you look instead on this positive piece of paper and you read it and reflect. You might even do the web minute, and then you will feel like you are motivated to go out because you're doing it for you, for your own good, no one else. You put yourself first. Yeah. How does it sound?
Well, that sounds great. And what I also will do is I will, let's say, before that's my normal routine, but I kind of skipped it. I will, before I commit again to so many meetings. And by the way, these are all meetings that I ask people because they are about reviewing my coaching business. So that's good. But I will be more careful about what I will say yes to and not overcommit.
Okay. And just finally, I'm in picture now. I thought I have to come in picture before we end this webinar.
It's good to see you.
Have you missed me?
Well, I've felt so exposed. Now it's a bit more equal playing field, right? Okay. So, because now I can see you. That's better.
But you know that no one's seen you either. You've been sitting on your settee. I've been sitting on mine. Here in the studio.
I feel very naked. I can tell you now, but I don't care.
You've been so brave, and for me to be coaching coaches as well, it's very powerful because I think that will inspire many people they aren't coaches, and that feel that they got issues and they are the only one having these issues. There are lots of people that think that managers, CEOs or coaches haven't got any issues, and we all have issues. It's just the difference between people is that some people, they deal with their issues and do something about it, while other people don't. And you
Correct.
deal with your issues, and so do all the people that join the webinar, because they're there to listen to the inner feelings. So we're all role models, and I think it's been great that you've been also part of this, Mark, and that Philip also joined in from England to share his thoughts on your vulnerability of talking, and also the others that we coached before. So I think it's been a really great start of this launch of the global webinar, and I hope there will be many more. I just let you say a few words now on how you feel about what's going to happen tonight and the morning and your actions going forward. And while you speak, I'm going to have some of my tea from my little cup here in the forest. So, Mark, over to you.
Well, I mean, I've already said so much, so perhaps I would allow other people to say something too before you close. That's a nice cup, by the way.
Oh,
it's
thank
funny
you.
because if you stand there,
Yes,
I love the scenery, and I think that the company that's facilitating your workshop is doing a fantastic job, because I know we've spoken about me taking that role, and I wasn't sure that I could do that. I'm glad that I procrastinated on that one, because now you've found a much better partner for that piece of the puzzle. And the scenery of having you there with your microphone and your tea being very authentic, and then there's a campfire and there's your book. I think it's just it works for me. It works, and so thanks. I'm looking at my camera all the time. Like, is my little camera cover here? Is
we
it open or
can't
closed?
see you. We can't see you,
Because
Mark.
to me it feels like you're looking me right in the soul.
Wow.
But so again, without adding too much, thank you so much, Pia. It's lovely. I'm glad that I kind of joined in, and thank you for coaching me. And Philip, thank you for also kind of adding, jumping in and contributing to the conversation. So I'm a big fan, and I'm happy to see whatever I can do to help you, support you for the next one.
Yeah, likewise. I ditto.
Great, Philip. Yeah. So, you are the brave ones. We're all brave that's joining in, but there's many people that don't want to interact, and that's what I've said also as you join. It's going to be anonymous. There's no, no one needs to interact if they don't want to. So I just want to finally say thank you so much for everyone taking part in this first global webinar, and I want to leave you with 3 steps, which are the main steps that is part of my book, Improve Your Own Quality of Life the Swedish Way. And that is really how you take control of your own life and find that inner peace. And step 1 is that you invest in yourself. And by investing, I mean that you stop and you can ask yourself, how do I feel right now? And once you've asked yourself that question, you can then take the next step, which is to reflect. So then you start to reflect on how you feel at this moment in time. So you can ask yourself, how do I feel? I feel a bit thirsty. What are my options? And then you reflect on, okay, I could drink some of my tea, or should I go and get some water, or do I want a coffee, or what should I do to deal with this problem that I have? Because I don't want to be thirsty. So then, after you reflected on your options, you come to your 3rd step, which is to act. And when you act what you're motivated to do, not what someone tells you is right or wrong. I mean, we know that if you drink coffee, that will drain you more, so you will be even more thirsty. But if I feel now standing here that I want a coffee, then I can take a coffee, because I made a conscious decision to act on that. And the more I use these 3 steps, I will make more and more conscious decisions that are actually good for me. And so I don't penalize myself or I'm being too hard on me, that I try to coach myself in a kind way where I feel that I develop the days that I want to develop. If I want to lay in bed all day one day and I've done the reflections, the 3 steps, then that's okay. But rather than just rushing into things and just don't reflect, then you will become stronger if you start to question yourself and also do the web minute. So I'm going to just ask now before we end the webinar if there's someone that's got any questions. And also I want to thank Megasound, who has been in charge of all the technical part of this launch. And it's great to hear, Mark, that you thought it worked really well. So let me see if there are any questions. I love the web minute. Great. Let's see. Wonderful experience we got there from the Netherlands. Great stuff. Yeah, I think there's actually no one that's asking. Let's see. I'm going to ask Kalle who works here in the technical booth if there's any question that's come up that we need to. Normally, when I run a normal talk, like a seminar, and I ask at the end, has anyone got any questions? It's totally quiet. It's very unusual that someone asks a question after I've finished my talk. So I think I start, this is like honest things that we talk about. And you don't really have to ask questions because you got all the answers inside of you. So thank you so much for joining this webinar, and I hope to see you on the next one. And we already got the date set. It's going to be the 28th of May at 4 p.m. Central European time. So sleep well and look after yourself and be kind. And hopefully you get out in the nature tonight or tomorrow, the latest. Bye.